Hey everybody, welcome to the Creativity Cave. I'm Dina Rico and I just moved my work surface. I'm so excited to be stamping with you today. I have 3 projects that I'm going to share with you today, so we have to get going and they're all awesome. So first of all, I made these 2 adorable cards using the Pick a Pumpkin stamp set as well as the, my husband is standing behind me. He's dying to say something. So what are you going to say to the ladies? That's a thumbs up from my husband. You're not going to say word. You use your words, sweetheart. Oh my gosh. See, this is why engineers have a bad reputation. Honestly. Okay. So I used the Labels to Love as well as the Pick a Pumpkin stamp set to create my card. I love this set. And I think the reason I love this set is, you know, you might look at it and think, oh, it's all right. But when you see all of the amazing framelits that come in this stamp set, and I don't even have all of them out here yet, you will think to yourself, wow, I must have that. It's not subliminal, it's direct. You should order this from Dina right now. The link is in the description of this video. Okay, so I'm going to take my pumpkins, and let me just, grab my cardstock. It's just out of reach. And what I am going to do is a couple of things. First of all, I'm going to emboss with some gold, which is an amazing look. I love adding that little glitz of gold. Sorry, I also had to grab my embossing buddy. And what I'm going to do is go ahead, get that stuff out of the way, and I'm going to emboss or drop my embossing buddy on my cardstock here. This is so that all this embossing powder doesn't stick to the oils in my hands. And then I'm going to take my Versamark pad, and let's see if we pick the good one or the bad one. It's kind of the bad one, but that's okay because it works. And what I will do is stamp my label. Okay, seriously, I had all of this stuff right here, and now it is all missing. I hate when this happens. Oh, it's just hiding behind the label punch that I have out. Figures. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up and stamp it down. And everybody's stopping by tonight because now I have my son here. Did Dad send you in? Did your dad tell you to come in here and give me the thumbs up? He did, didn't he? Oh my gosh. No, he didn't. He didn't? Oh, goodness. So what do you have to say?
Hi, Internet.
Hello, Internet. That is Carl. You may remember him from such videos as, I don't even know. He's always in videos. Okay, so there is my label. Okay, that's enough. I'm also going to take the Give Thanks stamp. Good night. Good night, Internet.
Don't stay up too late. Don't do drugs. Okay.
That's good advice, sweetheart. Thank you.
Unless medical drugs. Take your medical drugs.
Okay, sweetheart. Thanks. Oh, dear. And you are all very welcome. All right. So I stamped my frame. I'm now going to stamp my thanks, or give thanks, I guess I should say, and put embossing powder on it. I never feel comfortable enough doing the 2 at the same time because of the placement. Let's just say my experience has led me to believe that I'm terrible at placing this. But I mean, it's hard because Versamark is clear ink, so it's hard to see where it goes. Okay, so now that I did that, let's heat emboss it. So I'm going to turn my heat tool on, and I'm heating it from behind so that you can see the change. But actually, someone has told me that this is technically the correct way to do it, so I don't know. It's just how I like to do things. I will say, don't do this when you are embossing on watercolor paper because the watercolor paper is so thick it won't ever melt. I go from the top on that. All right, so you can see it is lovely shiny gold. And then what I'm going to do is take one of my pumpkin stamps and actually stamp right on top of that. Uh-oh, what did I do with my pumpkin set? Honestly, oh, here we go. I really had all this stuff like set out and ready. So I've got actually 2 pumpkin stamps, this big tall one and then this kind of medium-sized one. And because this is kind of a classy card, we're not going to put the pumpkin jack-o'-lantern faces on. We're just going to stamp regular. All right. So I've got my stamps and my blocks, and I'm using pumpkin pie ink, but I'm going to stamp it off because I found the pumpkin pie to be a little bit intense for what I wanted. And then I'm also stamping off the Cajun craze that I'm using as well. So I'll ink my pumpkin up, and actually this one I think I did do full strength, to be honest, but on my card you'll see I did not. So there we go. Isn't that, I like that a lot, actually. And you know what, I think I'm going to leave off the other pumpkin because I do remember when I was making this I was thinking it was a little too much. So let's do the background of our card. So for that, I have cut, I believe, I want to say this is a 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, but check my blog for the details because I'm not 100% positive. And so for this, what I'm going to do is stamp off and then just stamp a few pumpkins on here, all stamped off and kind of in varying heights and places on my card. And then I'll sort of fill in, do one more here, and then I'll sort of fill in with my medium-sized pumpkin and the Cajun Craze ink. And so I'll stamp that off. I didn't ink that quite up all the way. So I'll stamp that off and then just sort of stamp these kind of scattered throughout. I'll do another one there and maybe one more there. Okay. And then I adhered this piece. Now this piece is kind of a strange size, and you want to know why? I have a great reason. It's because it was a piece in my scrap box and I didn't want to trim another piece, but then when I put it on there I was like, ooh, I kind of like the look of that. It was cut, you know, not quite to be a full mat, but when I placed it on top of my cardstock, I liked the way it looked. Oh, well, we might be committed to that. It's not 100% straight, but that's not half bad. Okay, then we'll fold our card base, and then to finish this up, all we're going to do is punch that label out and pop it up. Now I also made a cute little treat test tube using our treat tubes, I think is what we actually call them in the catalog. And I made one to coordinate, basically exactly the same as this. So I love how this everyday label punch just fits right in here and punches perfect every time. Okay, so I'm going to flip that over and put a couple dimensionals on it. And I have to show you guys something. So I have had embossing powder since I first started stamping like 20 years ago. And I mention this because, of course, that's a long time to be stamping. But look at the difference. I just invested in some fresh gold embossing powder. This is my old embossing powder, and look at how it's sort of dull and tarnished, and look at how shiny and pretty this is. It really makes a difference. I was kind of shocked by the difference. So anyway, I love my card. It's just simple and cute. Now my little treat container is also adorable. These are little sixlets or however you say that I got from Target in like the birthday party gift wrapping section, you know, where they have like kids stuff. They have these for fall, and they're almost like pearlescent-y, iridescent-y. So they're super cute. So I did my tag exactly the same. I didn't stamp the give thanks on it, but then I just punched an 1/8 inch circle punch at the top and tied it on with some ribbon. So how easy is that? This is such a cute darn treat. Oh my gosh, I love it. And I did another treat holder using the Pick a Pumpkin on a blog post maybe a week or so ago, which was kind of fun. It held three, I think, treat holders. So much fun to make fun treats for candy. All right, now I have one more card and it's really quick so we can make this nice and fast. So this card is actually another great card. And the reason I love it is because it uses up scraps that you probably have anyway. So let me show you what I mean by that. First of all, I'm going to start with a crumb cake card base, which actually I've already folded, you know, to save time. I'm just kidding. I just happen to have an extra. And then these are leftover pieces from trimming cardstock, and I just happen to have one in Cajun Craze, cherry cobbler, and elegant eggplant. Now these aren't your traditional not Christmas, Halloween or fall type colors, but I really like the look of them and I think they're kind of fun. So what I'm going to do is adhere each of these onto my card with some fast views. You might note these are a little longer because, like I said, they were scraps. So I'm just going to adhere each one to my card with some fast views. I'm actually going to tuck that one over slightly because it was a little bit wider than the other two. Because like I said, these were just scraps that I pulled out, and I love using my scraps. I mean, you guys got to know that, right? Because of course we can't throw anything away because that would just be crazy. So we got to use them. But I found these three together. They just were in the same, I keep my scraps together. So these were the Regals. They're by color family, obviously. And these three colors were just sitting together, and I was like, ooh, that looks kind of cool. What would look good against that? Of course, the answer to that was obviously Gold Glimmer. So I'll punch one more of my labels. Uh-oh. And you know what drives me crazy about this is it's always like right in front of me when I can't find something. I kind of laugh because when I have classes, I see people lose stuff like, you know, where's the test tube? Where's the test tube? You know, it's right there in front of them and they can't find it. And I kind of chuckle only because that happens to me like 5 times a day. All right. So again, I'll pop these up, or this label up, I should say. Place this on my card, and then I'm going to add to it. Oh, I wanted it up a little higher. I remembered that because I thought it looked better. Okay. That's better. So I die cut for you the little pumpkin outline. This was one of the dies that comes with a Pick a Pumpkin. And I'm going to do my awesome sponging technique where this is my silicone mat, and I'll squeeze just a little bit of liquid glue on here and then sponge it on the back of my pumpkin. I know you can use the multi-purpose adhesive sheets, but I tend to remember those after I have die cut something, so it doesn't work so hot for me. Just saying. Okay, now I also die cut one of these pumpkins, and I will adhere that with some mini dimensionals. And I love the mini dimensionals because they will fit in these little places on my pumpkin that are kind of, you know, too small for a full dimensional. Okay, and then I'm just going to pop that up. Actually, I want to do it a little bit lower, like so. So fun and shimmery. And then all I really need to do to this is add a sentiment. So I was thinking I would use one from the stamp set that I had already started with. So here's the Halloween sentiment, and what I can do is, and you know what, maybe, so I'll explain what I did, and then I'll tell you that I am not going to do it. So here's my stamp. I took this And I didn't want all of it. I just wanted the Halloween, Happy Halloween. I didn't want the whole label because I thought that would look dumb there. I wanted it to be simple. So I took Post-it notes, went all around, and masked off everything else on the stamp. I love this technique because it's so easy. Of course, you could use a marker, but because the images on here are so tight, it's really hard to get marker in just those spots because there's like a little dotted line right there. So then I inked this up, pulled my Post-its off, and then stamped it down. Okay, but I'm not going to do that. And let me tell you why. Because first of all, I don't think this is a happy haunting Halloween or have a haunting Halloween kind of a card. I think this is more of a for you card or a made with love card. It's probably not a ho 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 card, but I think I'm going to change up my sentiment because I just think this is better than the other one. I'm just saying. So I've got my stamp here and I can see that it is actually kind of die cut a little bit off, but we can resurrect that. I'm going to do my typical stamp surgery. And Sue, if you're watching, go for it, girl. You get those scissors out and cut those stamps. She was a little nervous, but she got her scissors, so she was excited to try. I told her to go for it. Okay, so I placed my stamp on there, and then I'm just going to stamp this in Elegant Eggplant, I think. All right, and of course I had that ink pad out too, but can I find it? No. Of course, oh, here it is. It's just sitting right next to me on my chair with all the other stuff that I keep looking for. Okay, we'll practice on here, and then we'll stamp it right there for you. Oh, I like that better. It's simple. It's a nice, simple, easy card. Okay, now what if we took it up one notch, right? One more notch. So I'm going to take my, here we go, my glimmer paper, that's not what this is, but I'm going to move my stuff out of the way. I'm going to take my spritz, this Wink Stella, clear Wink Stella, and I'm going to spritz it onto my card. I'm just getting everything out of the way. So I just am smacking this on here a few times, and when I do that, you can see it sparkles even more. And I think that's just what this card needed. So anyway, I hope you have loved my projects. I'll bring them all out again to share with you. Again, if you need anything from today's projects, please shop my online store. I would so appreciate your business. If you've never shopped with me, of course you'll become a VIP, and that's awesome because there's fabulous perks. Thank you so much again for stamping with me, and check all the details and photos and supplies as well as dimensions on my blog, and you can shop the links below. Thanks guys, have a great day. Bye.